Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of It's All About the Fuzz, alongside my co-host extraordinaire, Miss Karen LaPreziosa. What's up, Karen?
Hi. Everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I
Everything's
feel
up.
like I want to just like kind of come into the picture with one of my guitars and
Yeah.
introduce this thing. So today, Karen and I were just chit chatting before we started recording, and this episode today is going to be kind of what we're going to do more often than not on this show. You know, we had the last couple episodes, we've taken a look at some of the labels that put out fuzzy music, and we'll get back to that at some point too, because there's other labels we haven't really tackled. I think those are fun to do as well. But what we're going to do today, and this is going to be kind of like an ongoing theme, is we've each come to the show here today with three albums from three bands or artists that kind of participate in this whole fuzz music scene, whether it be doom or stoner or psych or garage or whatever it might be. But we're trying to go a little less mainstream, I guess, Karen, right? Like you've probably
Yeah.
heard of some of these artists. Maybe you never listened to them. Maybe you haven't heard of any of them, but we're trying to like go a little bit off the beaten path to bring you guys some cool albums that maybe you haven't listened to, never heard of, or maybe you haven't listened to in a long time. And the kind of the thing that holds them all together is this whole appreciation of the fuzz, right? That's what it is. So like personally for me, I've got like we were just talking about this. I've got one really old album. I've got one that's fairly new, and one that's sort of modern, but not 30 years old. I guess 30 years old is still kind of modern. I don't know. That sort of thing. So I've got like the 60s, the 2010s, and the 1990s represented. I have no idea what Karen's pick.
Yeah.
To know what I pick, so I don't know what era she's from or anything like that. But we'll each go one at a time with each album. We got some little things to talk about with each album, and then we will drop into the comments section links to go check all of this stuff out. If there's a YouTube link to play the whole album, we'll have that. If there's also a Bandcamp page, we'll have that as well. So you have your little playlist of links to go and check out all these albums. So we hope you enjoy them. So with all that being said, I'll turn it over to Karen for our first pick of the day here.
Well, I misunderstood the assignment. I thought it was just three bands. I didn't pick one album.
That's fine too. Yeah, that's fine too.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start. I did this because I picked these bands very deliberately because the common denominator is fuzz. It doesn't necessarily fit. They don't fit into each other's subgenre of rock and roll. And that's what it is all about the fuzz. And to me, it was really cool that, you could look and find it anywhere in any kind of music. I mean, from the Ventures to the Flaming Lips to Color Haze. I mean, it's all there. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I wanted to take bands that are maybe not in everyone's faces, but they may be, in certain circles are known, and just talk about them. Cool. So my first band is quite literally called Fuzz. Okay. They are a trio from San Francisco. They have three albums out, self-titled and 2 and 3. Ty Segall, very psychedelic guy, also dabbled in like garage punk a little bit, is the leader of this band, and both other guys in the band have played with him prior. They are very much blue cheer, very, very much blue cheer. They also can be slower and a little bit more psychedelic. I have some notes here. My favorite song is Rat Race, and that's slower and more psychedelic, but I gotta say half of their stuff just sounds like slowed down punk, not too slow, punk, like a fuzzy garage punk. They got sometimes like snotty vocals at times. They trade off with singers, and that rebellious kind of lyrics. I thought they were a good fit, not just because of the name, but because it's so
Name rules. I mean, geez.
yeah. I mean, they don't really sound like psychedelic, maybe because they sound like Blue Cheer, like it's all fuzz. They don't fit into any kind of sub metal genre. They're just fuzz, literally. And yeah, self-titled and 2 and 3. I think they're interesting. And
So are they more modern, Karen, or are they from way back, or like
no, they're more modern. Let me see when they released their records. Oh, 2013 was the first one,
Okay.
2015 and 2020.
Okay, that's
I'm not going back too far with my picks, so
okay.
yeah.
That's
So
good. But new bands are good, right? It's yeah. So
yeah, and Ty Segall is he's kind of well known. This is like a side project for him. He's got a ton of them.
well, I love the name of the band. Obviously, it takes a lot of balls to name your band Fuzz, right? So
Right,
you name your
right.
band Fuzz, you better use
Yeah, it's
some kind of fuzz pedal, big time.
and if you like Blue Cheer, maybe without the pounding drums, but like it's in that vein, big time.
Okay.
Doesn't let up.
Well, that is a perfect segue to my first pick. Since you mentioned Blue Cheer, no, it's
Mm.
not Blue Cheer themselves. However, this gentleman played with Blue Cheer on their third album. I believe it was their third album called New and Improved. Played on the album and toured with them, and then went off on his own. The guy's name is Randy Holden. The album is Population 2 from 1970.
Oh, all right.
This
Now,
is, you can probably tell from the picture on the back, look at those stacks and stacks of amplifiers. It's basically a duo of Randy Holden on guitar and vocals and Chris Lockheed on drums. This album is full of scorching fuzz driven guitar leads and riffs. I mean, this is like, and it sounds like it came from 1970.
nice.
As best way I can describe this, I've had this for a while. This is a very, very cool album. This to me almost sounds like, I know Sabbath is traditionally known as the first Sabbath album, the first Essential Doom album. But man, when you listen to this album, this sounds like early psychedelic doom or like acid rock with guitars cranked up to 12.
Who doesn't love that?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
Sounds beautiful.
The crazy thing is, like, when he was in Blue Cheer kind of stopped making that early, really heavy, loud, obnoxious music that they did on their first two albums. So it's amazing how he joins Blue Cheer when they start to get softer, and then he goes out on his own and does an album that should have been a Blue Cheer album. I mean, this thing is heavy. The songs to look out for on here, there's a song called Guitar Song, totally cranks. And it's interesting because it's just guitar and drums. It's really, really
great.
wild stuff. But there is some bass on here as well, too, from a guy named Robert Bauer. But that's on the bonus tracks, though, on the CD reissue. But on the regular album, it's just guitar, vocals, and drums, although Randy plays a little bit of bass. But there's another song called Fruits and Icebergs, which is killer. Blew My Mind is killer, but it's spelled BLUE My Mind instead of Blew My Mind. Very cool. And then one of my favorites is Keeper on My Flame, or Keeper of My Flame, which is so heavy for the time. This is an absolute must-hear album for anybody that likes heavy, fuzzy, psychedelic music that borders on like kind of acid doom for the time that it came out.
You got my number. What's the name of that album again? What's the title?
It's Randy Holden is the name of the guy, and it's called Population 2.
Is that the only release he did?
He might have done something else, but this is the only one anybody ever talks about. It's the only one I have.
Okay.
So yeah, it says Population 2. It's not his second album; it's his first album. So
a starting point, folks.
It's absolutely killer. And again, I'll just hold the picture up here because it's just the two guys. Just that's hard to
cool.
But yeah, and here he is too. This tells you all you need to know right there.
Guitar. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this album was reissued on CD in 2001, but like I said, it's available to stream. There's a Bandcamp page and there's a YouTube page, so I'll put the link down below. But yeah, this is a killer album, and if you get the CD, whatever, you get all these bonus tracks on here, which is really cool. But yeah, that's my first pick. Randy Holden, Population 2, great guitar player, and a really good album.
That's great. That's awesome. Now I'm gonna go with something that's totally different than my first band, and this is Black Rainbows. It's not an obscure band. It's really well known, but like I said, I wanted to take examples, and they've got 8 albums starting from what year? 2007. They're from Rome. Yep. And this happens to be one of my favorites. Pandemonium. I never could get this right.
There we go.
Pandemonium.
And I got one I just happened to have one sitting on my desk. There's this one's from 2020. This is
Cosmic
Ritual Super Trip. Yeah, these guys are really good.
Yes,
I just happen to have that sitting here. That's we didn't plan that, guys.
Yeah. You know why? Because it's that good. This band is that good.
Yeah,
they are seriously groovy, hard rock, buzzed out with tinges of psychedelic and metal, and I am here for it. All of it, all the time. Standout tracks for me are Sunrise. I think that's in the Pandemonium one that I just shown, and Hawk Dope. Hawk Dope is off of the album Hawk Dope, which is great. It's really trippy, hard rock, like, you know what I mean? All fuzzy all the time. And the bands that I'm picking, they're all fuzzy all the time, purposely, because we are talking about fuzz. And I didn't, everybody's got a song here and there, but I wanted these particular bands to be, this is their sound, an integral part of their sound, and their different genres. So that's where I was coming from. But anyway, Black Rainbows, so great. Pandemonium, Cosmic Rituals, Super Skull, Super Mother Fuzzalicious. So many. Hawk Dope is a great one. Twilight in the Desert, so good. Stellar Prophecy. You could start anywhere. I personally would start at Hawk Dope. That's my favorite. And let me show you that record cover. See, I'm taking notes from you guys.
Do that.
I
would highly recommend their most recent one too, which I think is great.
Yes, great. Let me show you Hawk Dope. I'm so bad.
And these guys know their fuzz. In fact, if I know the guitar player is one of them, and there may be multiple guys in the band are owners of the Heavy Psych Sounds Records label, which is
right. So exactly.
They know their shit. They know their shit.
Yeah, they do. And they put on great festivals. Heavy Psych Sounds all over. They have it all over the world. Black Rainbows, Hawk Dope.
Great cover.
Great cover. They're all great covers. They're all great covers. All trippy, psychedelic.
I mean, look at that.
Buzzed out. Yes, look at that. I mean, the merchandise is amazing. Yep. But yeah, they've got a groove to them. They're just great. I love the vocals. They're kind of in the back, and that makes them sound even spacier. So so I'm picking Black Rainbows. Cool. So that's that.
Well, Karen picked a fairly recent band, so I'm going to do the exact same because my second choice is a fairly recent band. And I'm not 100% sure if they have other albums than the one I'm going to show you guys today. But if they do, I got to get them because I absolutely love these guys. So they're from Detroit. The name of the band is Bison Machine. And the one I'm going to show today and talk about is Seas of Titan from 2019. They are on Small Stone Records. Small Stone Records is another great little label that has all sorts of bands like this. I absolutely adore this album. This is like one of my recent discoveries because I bought a whole bunch of stuff from Small Stone Records, and this one I had for months and I never really listened to it till like about 2 months ago. I put it on. I can't stop listening to it. So the best way to describe these guys, think of fuzzy 70s Detroit style heavy rock and hard rock. So think like Alice Cooper, MC5, Grand Funk
with an attitude problem. That's what that
Stooges. Yeah, they totally have attitude. I mean, and that's like, it's very kind of raucous, groovy music. So think of all those great Detroit bands, right? Mixed with, and I know this is going to sound weird, mixed with some like early 80s new wave of British heavy metal. So
it works.
Think of all these great Detroit bands from the 70s. I know, I think I sent you the link to it. Think of like all those great early Detroit or Michigan era bands or area bands from the early 70s and blend that with like, because the guitars are like dueling guitars and there's galloping rhythms. And so think of like early Iron Maiden, really early Def Leppard, Satan, Angel Witch, mixed with like Alice Cooper and Grand Funk Railroad and the MC5 and the Stooges. I know that sounds wacky, but it's really, really good stuff.
It
And mixed with
sounds
a little bit of Sabbath. You got to have the Sabbath in there because there's a lot of cool riffs in there. But songs to watch out for here. The opening track, The Tower, is so awesome. I mean, it's got these great like acrobatic lead guitar things kind of going in and out from each other. A lot of wah-wah, a lot of fuzz riffs. Knights of the Stars is loads of fun. I love how it just sounds like heavy Detroit style garage rock from the early 70s, just so good. Then you got Cloak and Bones, which just absolutely crushes. And then it's got loads of feedback and fuzz, excellent stuff. But then you have like, they also do kind of like the psychedelic spacey thing as well. And you can hear that in Echoes in Space and the title track, which is really cool. And then like one of the songs late in the disc is called Star Child. And that is just awesome. It grooves and it grooves and it grooves and the is totally kick ass. I mean, this is an incredible album and I can't wait to hear more from these guys. So just give you another look at it, and there they are on the back.
Wow.
Titan is the album. Bison Machine is the name of the band from Detroit. So yeah, go check them out, folks. Really good. Again, we'll drop the link down below for you to check.
Talk about singing endorsement.
I
Damn.
love this album. Yeah, it's funny because like I said, I had it for a while and never even listened to it. Then I just started listening to it. I'm like, holy shit, this is like the best of the whole bunch that I got from them. Like, and it was
Well,
just
I was
here
cruising around.
unlistened to for like a month. I'm like,
I hate that in a way though when that happens because there's just so much and like that's you know what honestly that's what it was happening to me with Hawk Dope and Black Rainbows. It was just stuck in my head and I really wanted to talk about Black Rainbows because they're an important fuzzy band. But you had sent me the link and then I forgot about it and then I came back to it when I was just cruising around Bandcamp and it just popped up and I was like, oh, this is the band that Pete sent me. You know, it was like meant to be, you know.
yep.
It was super cool. Oh, my next band is fuzzy psychedelic band and they're fuzzy all the time and they are from Austin, Texas, and they're a pretty big band. They are, I remember Butch commented they were going to go on tour with Rival Sons, but for whatever reason, that never happened. I mean, I think Rival Sons canceled for whatever reason, but they're great. They're a staple at Levitation Fest in Austin. They are called the Black Angels, and they've been releasing records since 2004. They have 7 records altogether. My favorite is Indigo Meadow. You can see it's very
love that cover. That's great.
yeah, it's very 60s, very very that. I can't like here's another one of theirs called Death Song. Oh, Mod on. I'm sorry. I'm so bad at this.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it's very 60s, very Warhol, with Black Angels in the middle there. It's real trippy. They have a very always fuzzy, but very haunting sound. There's a little bit of echo to it. The singer is not a strong singer by any means. He's clean vocals, but it sounds like he's straining. It's kind of eerie and creepy at times, and the lyrics can be very, very dark. I mean, they've gotten their name from the Velvet Underground. Like, what's the name of that song? Black Angels Death Song or something like that from the Velvet Underground, and their logo is a photo of Nico, like a black and white photo of Nico. But they're really good. They're really haunting. They've been in a couple of I know one time I was watching True Detective on HBO and some of their music just popped up. I was like, whoa, I like the show even more.
Do you remember what season? What season was that? Because I saw all the season. Oh, I love season 1.
Yeah, the only
I probably heard this stuff. Oh, okay.
But yeah, the Black Angels are amazing. My favorite songs are Evil Things, and these are both off of Indigo Meadow, and Don't Play with Guns. Other albums, Directions to See a Ghost, Phosphorine Dream, excuse me, Death Song, Wilderness of Mirrors was their latest album that made like my top for the year. That was 2022 release. They were great. Passover is their first album. They can be very much a throwback, but like sometimes you'll hear real 60s garage in them, but they're eerie and moody as hell and kind of creepy, and all fuzz all the time, kind of in an echo though. But I wanted to point that out because, we talk a lot about stoner metal or stoner and doom, and I wanted to point out that there's the fuzz is everywhere. Every band has it everywhere. So
Do they are they like mainly guitar, bass, and drums, or do they use any organ or anything like that? Because some of these
sometimes they have an organ, not too much. It's just if they're regular 4-piece, yeah, they have, but because they do get into that psychedelic, they are neo psychedelic. They do have a keyboard here and there, but they're mostly guitar, bass, and drums, and it's just creepy and eerie. Like, and the singer, like I said before, he's not a strong singer, so it sounds like everything is an effort, and it just kind of makes it even creepier. I don't know, but I like it a lot, and it's really different. So yeah, Don't Play with Guns was the first one that I heard, and Evil Things. I keep wanting to say Evil One like Rocky Erickson, but no, Evil Things is really great. I think that's a good album. Indigo is to get into the Black Angels.
Cool.
I think that's a good step.
Investigate them. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Awesome.
Like,
yeah, you have to like that stuff, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, my third and final pick today is a band that I'm sure most have heard of. This is probably the most well-known of the three that I have, but they've been around now for 30, not quite 35 years, but close to it. The band is the Melvins. You know how many times people like, when are you guys going to talk about the Melvins on this show? Well, it's happening right here, right now. So
King Buzzo, baby, forever. I love that guy.
Buzz Osborne, man. He's just like the hair and just like he's such a he's like the poster child of this kind of music from that era, right? Because the Melvins were just like starting to get big right during when grunge was really hitting, but their music is like not really it's similar, but it's not, right? So
right.
I have a couple here to show, but the one I really wanted to talk about, which is one of my favorites, is from 1991. It's their third album called Bullhead.
Yeah, I love it.
You got all that wonderful looking fruit and everything on the cover, right?
Yeah.
And again, sludge, stoner, garage, grungy stuff, whatever. This album is 34 minutes of just crushing fuzz, mammoth riffs. The song Boris kicks it off, which is killer. In fact, the Japanese band named their band after this song, right? Just got some monstrous riffs and buzz. This album is just like the guitar tone on here is just absolutely lethal. Anaconda is another really, really great one. Ligature's riffs are just massive, just amazing. Zodiac is more fast-paced and almost kind of garage punky, but still it's got a lot of fuzz. If I Had an Exorcism is terrific, and You're Blessed is also really, really good, but the whole album is great. And what I like about their albums is they're really short, and they come in, they kick your ass, get out of Dodge, right?
I'm done.
Really good stuff. But in addition, I wanted to show a couple others. I also really like Houdini.
Yes. Something disturbing about that record cover. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and then you look at the back and you're like, alrighty then. Yeah. This might be one of their most well-known albums, Stoner Witch.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know what Buzz or King B looks like, there he is right in the middle. Look at that hair.
Now he's all gray.
Yeah, I know. He's totally all gray now, but that's okay. You gotta adapt, and you gotta embrace the gray. It's like, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Except if you're me.
Well, if you're a guy, I guess, but
I have to say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I saw the Melvins and Boris at Desert Fest, and the Melvins, they're coming out and they're crushing. They're like a machine, but there's something happy about them. You know what I mean? They're relentless and they're so heavy. And you see, I forgot which one of them, Steve McDonald, I'm not sure which one, he's playing bass and he's happy as ever. He's got some crazy suit on. He's dancing around, doing all this rock star stuff. And Buzzo's in some kind of weird robe. I don't know. It's just so much fun. It's like, it's heavy but light hearted. You know what I'm saying? And it always was weird to me how a lot of metal people, they just don't appeal to metal people sometimes. And I always wondered why they never really fit into that scene.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, Karen. I think part of it's the image.
Yeah.
I think part of it also is that, I mean, they've got a million fucking albums for one. So I only have a handful of them, but they've got so many of their albums, and so many of them are like so stylistically different from each other that
Yeah.
it's almost like you can't really pigeonhole them in any one place. Like, so I can see like metalheads would be like, you know, yeah, they got a couple good albums, but it's just some really weird shit in the catalog. And I don't know if I like the sludgy stuff, and
Yeah.
I like the grungy stuff, and blah, blah, blah. But man, I tell you, there's a video on YouTube from their recent appearance at oh God, what's the name of that big festival that they do over in Germany every year? The big, like, kind of like stoner rock festival. I'm drawing a blank. I should know this because so many bands have released live albums from there. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, there's a video from, is either earlier this year or last year, of the Melvins full set from there. It completely destroys. It is, I mean, just the wall of sound is just, and you can experience it even watching it on your computer or TV, watching the video. It's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, just such a crushingly heavy band. And I also have the debut album, which is really cool too.
There's classic, all of them, and they do a mean cover of Warhead. I'm gonna say I happen to like their version better than Venom's version of Warhead.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Warhead is great.
I know. They do a great cover of it. I don't know. It just sounds so much more. It's kind of hard, you know, when you think about Kronos doing it, but I don't know. I don't know. It makes me smile when I hear them.
That's what it's all about, right? So
yeah, they do some interesting covers. They really do.
They do, and they do some stuff that you wouldn't think would be, you know, something. I can always appreciate bands who will do occasional covers, but they'll pick out songs from bands that you wouldn't normally expect, right? It's like, do we really need another cover of like "Sunshine of Your Love" or all the same, say, Mississippi Queen? Oh, well, we love those songs, yeah, but it's like, why do people always cover the same song? So I like when a band goes and does like something you wouldn't expect. It's like, and then they make it their own, right? That's
Church
that, to me, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate.
Yeah, so, for sure. And I know they love Kiss. King Buzzle loves Kiss. Yeah,
go figure.
Wow, I'm surprised. I'm so happy you said the Melvins. It was just like, yes.
See, everybody, I told you, we don't tell each other our picks, so it's like we surprise each other with some cool stuff. So yeah, I've been kind of holding the Melvins off for a couple of months now, thinking, all right, when's it appropriate to talk about them? And then as soon as we decide to do this format, like, all right, I'm picking the Melvins for sure. So this was so much fun. Just getting ready to do this topic that I already have probably the next 3 episodes already, the band's already set aside.
Okay, so
I'm already ready to go.
So should we do one album from like I was supposed to do today? I just picked 3 bands. I'd rather do the one album because I think we get more in depth. I kind of glossed over my picks, which is kind of bad.
Well, whatever. I mean, it's like, I think if it's a band you know really, really well, talk about a couple albums. If it's just one real album that really resonates with you, we could just talk about the album. So I think either way, I think it's more important that we're talking about the bands, but we should, you know, really talk about songs and some albums just so people know what to go listen to. But yeah, I have 6 more waiting in the wings. So I have enough for the next 2 episodes that I've already picked them out, because you know what it is, I couldn't decide which ones I wanted to use for today's episode. I knew I was going to do the Melvins, but the other 2 was like, well, I can do them now, I can do them next time, and I'm like looking at the other ones I have, I'm like, oh, those will be good too. So yeah, so
you made my night with the Melvins. You really did.
There you go. So for everybody watching, so hopefully you like this format. Again, we're going to do this for a couple of months, for a couple episodes, and see how it goes. And then, you know, maybe we'll get back and do some other things similar. But I think this always should be kind of the focus of the show, is to bring you guys hopefully some little known or maybe lesser known, or maybe in some cases some bigger bands that maybe you haven't been exposed to before. I know the folks who are watching who are really, really into this kind of music, probably none of what we'll bring up are, unknown to you, but that's the fun of it all. It'll kind of touch people differently. So hopefully you've gotten some recommendations from today's episode. And like I said, we'll put all the links down below in the comments. I'll pin it down there so you have easy access and just click away and go listen to some of this stuff, because this is some serious fuzzy music. So going forward, like Karen said so eloquently at the beginning of the show, fuzz music crosses over into a lot of different styles. So we may have garage stuff, garage punk, doom, stoner, psych, even prog. There's some really good old prog shit from like the late 60s, early 70s that is really fuzzy as all hell. So you never know what we might bring. So, and we might occasionally go and do just a straight doom show or whatever, or it's a straight psych show. We're going to try and mix it up a bit. So yeah, we love this kind of music. So that's the important thing. So
I read your comments. So put it down. If you got something to add, I want to read it. Put it down in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of how we get a lot of ideas anyway.
Yeah.
If there's any like specific bands you'd like to hear us talk about, or record labels that you think are really good. I mean, just so you know, so what did we do? We've done Rise Above and Heavy Psych Sounds. So we still have Stickmen, we still have Ripple Music. I mean, there's all these other labels that have really good stuff. So
yeah,
we've got more than enough topics and things to do for the next year, I would think. So we'll get to everything little by little. So it's only a once a month show. So So thanks for watching. We want to see your comments. And let us know if you go and investigate any of these bands or albums. Please let us know what you think of them down in the comments below, because
right on.
make sure that some of this stuff is resonating with you guys. But don't sleep on any of this stuff, because there's some really good music we talked about today. Really good bands. So yeah. So definitely Black Rainbows, check them out. Frickin' Bison Machine is great. And if you can get a hold of this old relic,
I'm looking for it. I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Randy Holden, man, so good, so good. And for those couple of people, because we read the comments, those couple of people that keep saying, when in the world are they going to ever talk about the king of fuzz, Paul Chain? We'll get there. We'll get there. We're not going to forget there.
Paul Chain is one of the most prolific musicians and artists out there, and that's a lot of stuff, and we got to get through it. I mean, wow.
We might have to do a whole episode just on him, I think.
Just on Paul Chain, yeah.
So just don't, just so everyone doesn't think we forget about some of the staples, right? There's a lot to do here. We can't cover it all in a couple episodes. So anyway.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. Any last words, Karen, before we let everybody go?
No, just keep it fuzzy all the time.
Keep it fuzzy all the time. So that's
right on.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. And you can see both Karen and myself every 2 weeks on the Hudson Valley Squares. Well, you can see me every episode on the channel, but
no, you're on all the time.
That's no surprise. So we'll see you all real soon. Let's see what's coming up on the channel. So tomorrow, of course, is the Monsters Den. So stay tuned for that. We will be ranking the Phantasm film series. So that's coming up tomorrow. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff, of course, Friday morning. And Saturday is wait, is this UK Connection Week? No, UK Connection Week is next week, but ranking the albums on Sunday. Grant Arthur's coming on the show. We'll be ranking the albums of Night Ranger. So that's happening on Sunday. So and then we've got In the Prague Seat, and UK Connection is next week. So that's the schedule, folks. So thanks for watching. For Karen LaPreziosa, I am Pete Pardo. Keep it fuzzy, everybody. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.